Good morning. I'd be lying if I sat up here and told you that it hasn't been a very rough week. There's a grieving family, grieving departments, a grieving community, and a grieving profession. A week ago, when they came down and told me that Cooper had passed, I had a moment of, what do we do? What do I do now? Where do we go from here? But it was only for just a moment. Because right after that moment, a person will walk up to you in a uniform that's not yours. They're a person that you didn't know. And they say, I'm here to help you. What do you need? And behind them, there was another one. And then another one. And another one. There was even those that came up and said, hey, brother, I've been through this. Let me help you. To stand up here and to see all these strangers, all these uniforms with different patches, different badges, I can tell you, I'm proud to wear this badge. I am proud to be part of a profession that puts themselves behind everybody else, a profession that serves others. And I know that Cooper is watching us right now. He is loving all this attention. That's for sure. And I can't help but know that Cooper's with us, watching. Too many things have happened that have Cooper's touch to it. We had someone fall down the stairs. Other things have happened. And right before Cooper answered his last call, he was having dinner with his wife. And Cooper loved tactics. He lived and breathed SWAT. I'm surprised he didn't bleed multicam. But he was talking to Aubrey, and he was talking about the Allen Outlet Mall shooting, about the officers that responded that day, on how, yes, lives were lost, but those officers, they took care of business. They ran towards that gunfire, and they took care of business. And it wasn't until after Aubrey had picked out his plot that she found out that two of those little girls that were killed in that Outlet Mall shooting will be right next to him. They'll have him to protect them for eternity. If you did not know Cooper, all you have to do is look at the picture that's up on that board. That was Cooper. That shit-eating grin. And knowing where we are, I apologize, Lord, and the crowd that we have here, I thought of other ways that I could say that. And none of them did it justice. That was just Cooper. Cooper applied at the Greenville Police Department not long after I took over command. And I remember him. We had our civil service test that day. He showed up, did very well, but then we went to the physical ability test afterwards. And I remember he walked up and I said, well, Cooper, you ready? And Cooper had this thing that he always did. He'd look at you, he'd give you a wink and this little noise he'd make with his mouth. And it was usually followed by, I got this. So Cooper, you ready for this? I got this, Chief. And he did. If I remember correctly, he had the fastest time on the day. Cooper held himself to a high standard, physically, mentally, tactically. And along that process, when it looked like he was about to be hired, numerous members of the Greenville Police Department, like me, had very close friends with the Garland Police Department. So calls were made, hey, who is this guy? Needless to say, Cooper's reputation preceded him to the Greenville Police Department. When he got there, man, Cooper could talk that talk. He was good at talking that talk. Some officers might have thought it was cocky. Some might have thought it was arrogance. But knowing Cooper like I know him now, I think it was just confidence. Cooper was confident in his ability. He was new to the department, and I think he talked that way just so people would know. He was just not some rookie. He'd been around the block a time or two. It took some time, but people got to know the real Cooper, and attitudes began to change. One of the things that Cooper loved doing, and it was mentioned, was training. He loved to train. I don't know if it's because he was in charge and everybody had to listen to him or what, but he loved to train. And it was in training that I think Cooper's star shone brightest. He really turned out. He applied and became one of our alert, reality-based training instructors. And I remember we were putting on our alert training, and it was his first time. And the staff had put weeks to get ready for it. And so I walked up to Coop. You ready for this? You ready for your first big day as an instructor for RBT? Sure enough, I got this, Chief. He did. Cooper was a different person when he was training. Cooper loved SWAT. Some of his fondest memories are with both the Garland and the Greenville Police Department SWAT teams. He loved that camaraderie, that close group. They did so many things together, trained together, went to war together. Cooper changed the dynamic of our team. His enthusiasm changed the way we train. One day, I found out that Cooper was going to be in charge of training for SWAT. Okay. You sure, Coop? I got this, Chief. And he did. He did. It was about this time last year when I was approached by Lieutenant Reeves about doing explosive breaching for our SWAT team. It would be an added bonus to our team to be able to have that versatility. And several months ago, Lieutenant Reeves approached me next to Cooper and said, hey, Chief, the warrant we're going to serve this week, we're going to use explosive breaching. We're going to use that for the door. I'm like, okay. Did we send somebody to training? Are we ready for this? He said, oh yeah, Cooper here is going to do it. And I remember thinking, oh dear Lord, what have I done? And Cooper must have seen that panic look on my face because he gave me that, it's all right, Chief, I got this. And again, he did. Door went out, both doors actually went off without hitch. The team went in. It was a safe operation. That was just Coop. I got this was all what he always said, even when he didn't. Last year, the Roy City Police Department challenged us to a softball game. We had players sign up. Cooper put his name down. Coop, you sure? Oh yeah, I'm a great softball player. I can play. All right. I think it went something like, all right, you're in left field. You gonna be all right? Yeah, I got this. I got it. Yeah, Cooper didn't have it that day. 3 or 4 missed fly balls, and I don't know how you strike out twice in slow pitch softball. Like it was mentioned, Cooper was a cop. He was a cop through and through. He trained hard. He was always at the range, making himself better. He loved catching the bad guy. And all the times that he did something Cooperish was because he was chasing the bad guy. And that was his goal. He was a hunter. He was best on the hunt. If he had a target to go after, he'd research, and he'd dig and dig and dig. Sometimes he just couldn't let it go. He'd take it home, and I already have to tell him, hey man, you need to turn that off. He did some outstanding police work. Cooper, being the cop that he was on November 25th, is why we're here today. He could have not pursued him. He could have turned the cheek and went the other way. But that's not Cooper. He started a traffic stop. The guy took off on foot. Trooper was going to chase. But even in the heat of that moment, running after that suspect, he never lost focus. The suspect ran into the corner, and he decided to make a stand. We don't know why. We may never know why. But Cooper, hot on his trail, didn't just blindly run around that corner. He took it wide like he was trained to do, like he practiced and practiced and practiced to do. When he ran to that corner, that other person opened fire, striking Cooper multiple times. He could have just laid down. He could have called for help. He could have just screamed. But he didn't. He fought. Cooper returned fire, striking the suspect, incapacitating him. I don't know very many cops that could do what Cooper did that day. Even after he was hit, he put on his own tourniquet. Responding officers were a little bit excited, rightfully so. Cooper never lost focus. Calm down, we're all right. Put your tourniquet next to mine. This is what you got to do. It was walking people through how to treat him. I don't know that I will ever see that courage again. He was a true warrior. He went down fighting the entire way. He went down fighting like a lion. I'm so proud of that boy. Yeah, Trooper could talk the talk, but on that day, he proved to the whole wide world he could also walk that walk. Now he's gone. We're here grieving. There's a job left undone. There's a family that needs supporting. There's a community that needs protecting. There are crimes that need solving, calls for help that still need answering. There are criminals that still need apprehending. Yeah, he left us, and he left us a daunting task. But you know what? Rest easy, Coop. We got this.